A month ago, before the Daytona race, I made a video saying I was concerned about NASCAR safety, and this was, like it wasn't as big of a topic as it is now. Obviously, it's the main topic we're talking about, but I was concerned, and I made a video on it, and I was like, this is how I'm feeling. I'm not feeling good about it. And then a month later, things have happened, and here we are. People are angry on Twitter. Everyone's becoming a medical expert, and it's not just in NASCAR. If you guys know about Tua's injury last night, everyone turns into a medical expert. Like, sure, I've never played. Fire the medical staff. Fire everyone. But we're not medical experts. We don't know what causes things and what someone might be going through. So instead of ranting on Twitter about telling other people that they should be fired, yada, 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 for, putting people in danger and all that, I want to make a video today where we just talk about it like normal human beings instead of just being so angry and yelling at NASCAR to fix it when it's not easy to fix. Can we do that? If you guys don't know, Alex Bowman got a concussion. In my post-race review video for Texas, I said in the video there was a driver that said, quote, "This was one of the hardest hits I've had in my life," and I didn't exactly remember, but I had a feeling it was Bowman. And it was Alex Bowman. It is a crash where he backed it into the wall, very similar to Kurt Busch, but even so, probably not as violent as Kurt Busch's back into the wall at Pocono, but very similar, rear end, back into the wall, and if you look at the inboard shot, you could see the head. It has a quick, just a quick judder. It's nothing crazy, like boom, it's not like that, but it's just really, like boom. It's just quick. Very, very sudden. And so the car is just not absorbing the impact that the drivers, used to have with Gen 6 and even if you go back to the Gen 4. Now, there's a bunch of reasons as to why this might be. We've talked about them. How the car doesn't absorb the energy like it should, and that NASCAR knows this, and they have to fix it, but we are in basically October, and how are you going to fix it when there's only basically 5 races left, and what are you going to do? You can't. You have to go to the winter. Now, I want to get this very straight right now. There's no point in yelling at NASCAR right now because they know. Before I made the video a month ago, they know. What you can criticize them about, and that's what Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick are doing, is you can criticize them for a year ago. When a year ago, the drivers were testing the crashing, and the drivers were telling NASCAR, it doesn't feel good. The impacts are heavy. Please address this. And NASCAR, apparently with their data, was like, it's not showing up for us. According to the data, the hits, the energy impact, whatever, it's not showing up. So they didn't listen to the drivers. You can criticize them for that, but there's no point in criticizing them right now for last month or this month and yelling at them to fix things, because if I put you in charge of NASCAR, how would you fix things? You want to just stop the race? Go. Tell NBC and Fox we're just not going to race at Talladega. Not going to happen. We're just going to abandon that. Sponsorships, everything. Nope, we're just going to stop. Can you do that? No. Can you throw automatic cautions every 10 laps because you're scared of wrecks? No. So what can you do? Can you implement a forced change into every car and every team right now with only 5 races left and expect all the teams to build a car that is according to these specifications that have the upgraded safety measures or whatever? No, can't do that. So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? There's nothing. So why is everyone yelling on Twitter? Why? What's the point? How are we going to fix it? The past is the past. It is what it is. Now you have to think about the future and how to solve it. And right now, you can't solve it. So unfortunately, NASCAR is going to Talladega this weekend. The driver is going to be put at risk. And there is nothing anyone can do. Because if anyone can find a solution, please comment down below. Let me know what you think we can do. What is it? What is it? Do you want the drivers to wear pillows in the back of their helmet? What do you want them to do? Because the car is not going to change. You can't just miraculously build 40 new cars when everyone's racing for a championship. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to go. You can't change it. So this is the situation that we have. There's no point in arguing about it. This is a tweet from yesterday, 8:22 p.m., Kevin Harvick. And this was after Alex Bowman's concussion was announced, and he says, completely unacceptable that those in charge have let things get to this point. Like I said, the past is the past. You can criticize them for how it got here, but there's no point in criticizing them for the last month and what we can do. I remember it like yesterday. Denny Hamlin in the presentation of the new car to the drivers, pleading that the car was too stiff. Again, that was last year. Data didn't agree. Time to listen to the drivers crashing them. I have said this. I have said that NASCAR should listen to the drivers. So everyone else that's yelling at NASCAR and saying, how could you let things get to this point, and yada, 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 and you got to fix this right now, you're a disgrace, yada, yada, yada. This started last year. Where was the anger then? It started last year. They don't listen to the drivers on anything. I've said that since the start. They don't listen to the drivers. They have to listen to the drivers. I don't care what Marcus Smith has to say. I don't care what producers at NBC and Fox have to say. I don't care the check that they write to have an opinion on what the sport should do. I don't care what Goodyear has to say, because they don't put their lives at risk. Okay? How have we gotten to this point where the people that put their lives at risk have no say or sway in what is going on? That's where the problem starts. So how do you fix that? In 5 to 6 weeks' time, or it might even start right now, but when the season ends and you can make changes, the first people that should be consulted are the drivers. That's the first people that should be consulted. And when February comes around and the Daytona 500 arrives, there should be changes to the next gen car to ease the impact on drivers when they crash. However, the energy has to dissipate, whether you have to put crush panels in the car, lengthen the rear end, whatever has to be done, it has to be done. The testing will happen. NASCAR knows it. It's irrelevant to say that NASCAR is incompetent or ignorant at this current moment, because right now, they know the issue. Right now, they know how serious it is. Last year, they didn't. So you can criticize them last year, but at this current moment, they now know. Denny Hamlin also said it as well. Pretty disappointing that our sanctioning body, which is NASCAR, refuses to acknowledge or accept any responsibility for drivers getting hurt. And that is true, because they haven't said anything. Why? Because I'm pretty sure they could get sued to living hell if they come out and say something admitting of any fault. They could easily get sued for millions and millions of dollars. So they won't say anything. It's the same situation as the NFL not saying anything about Tua getting concussed and how he got pretty much concussed against the Bills on Sunday, and 4 days later he plays in another match, and this time he gets concussed to the point where his fingers are absolutely messed up and he's completely knocked out. They won't say anything. The NFL will not say a thing, because if they say anything, lawyers will come at them and they will get sued to oblivion. It's not going to happen. NASCAR is not going to come out. Secretly, they know. Behind their backs, they should probably be going to the drivers under the table and say, guys, we know now. We're sorry. But unfortunately, is that going to happen? I don't know, because NASCAR doesn't talk to the drivers. It's the same, they said. We knew better. It's wrong these drivers continue to get taken advantage of by the system. Again, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, two of the veterans in the sport, I am glad they are speaking up. And hopefully this will bring the drivers to the table. But again, if you think NASCAR is going to come out and show the data they had and all this stuff, it's not going to happen. They're not going to do it because they know they can get sued. That's the reality of the situation. Lost in all this chaos and unfortunate circumstances is Alex Bowman. And I almost spelled his name wrong. So lost in all this is definitely Alex Bowman. Where is his tweet? Here it is. After undergoing medical evaluation due to concussion-like symptoms, I will not be driving the number 48 Ally Chevrolet in Talladega. I'm disappointed, but no, my health is the number one priority. I am committed to follow all medical guidance to ensure I can return to competition as soon as possible. I am very happy, by the way, whoever did evaluate him, and that Bowman actually admitted to his, symptoms, that they kept him out of Talladega. Because if you are experiencing concussion-like symptoms and you feel like you can get back in the car because it's a championship and you have to try and win and you want to do it, you are putting yourself at immense danger, especially at a track like Talladega. I mean, I'm sure, honestly, that some drivers might be hiding some of their symptoms. I'm sure of it. I'm sure there might be, throw a name. It could be Chase Elliott. It could be Truex. It could be Truex is in the playoffs. So if he had anything, he probably won't admit it. But it could be a playoff driver that crashed that might be experiencing some pain or something. But they're not going to say anything because they want to win a championship. So it takes a lot of guts and a lot of, basically integrity and awareness and just intelligence for Alex Bowman to say, I'm experiencing concussion-like symptoms, evaluate me, and if I need to sit out, I gotta sit out. and he's going to do that. It's not worth going for a championship because, to be fair, is a championship really worth it anymore nowadays? Does it really matter? The value of a NASCAR championship has been thrown into the well ever since they decided to make it a one-race nonsensical nonsense. But that's not the point. The point here is safety. So, should he race at Talladega? Absolutely not. Is he going to race at the Roval? Probably not. Is he going to race after that? Probably not. I don't know when we'll see Bowman, but for his sake, he doesn't come back. He does not come back until he's 110%. And to be 110%, you have to go through tests. You have to get back behind the wheel. You have to do all this stuff to make sure that your vision and your the awareness in your head, no headaches, no issues, like I said, with your vision, none of that. Like, this stuff takes way too much time, and concussions affect everyone differently. It could be serious and very serious. For some people, it could take them a very long time to get over it. And for other people, after 48 hours, they feel perfectly normal. So no one knows except for Bowman. So I wish him all the best, and I hope he's well. And that's the number one priority, that he gets better, just like Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is the same exact way. He said the other day at Charlotte that he's still, his vision is still affected. It's getting better, but his vision, whether it be while driving or whatever, is still being affected. So I wish both of them all the best. This is NASCAR's most serious problem that they've had in a very long time, because for the last 20 years, NASCAR have not had a safety issue. They have been number one on top of safety in every way possible for the last 20 years. And they have done an incredibly, incredibly great job at making safe race cars, except for now. Now, I have no doubt that they will fix this car. Got no doubt. The way they do it is what I have doubt about. The way they do it. I want them to talk to the drivers about safety, about competition, about everything. I want the drivers at the table. I don't want producers. I don't want track owners who know nothing about the motorsport. They don't know. They don't. They don't risk their lives. They don't understand how the cars handle. Their job is to sell tickets and make money. That's what they do. I don't want them having number one power and say in these situations. So the mistake that happened last year when NASCAR wanted to go with their data and ignore the drivers' opinions should never happen again. But the past is the past. It's over. There's no point in ranting about it. There's no point in complaining about it. There's no point in crying about it. What has to be done now is to make sure that NASCAR talk to the drivers and fix this in the winter. Now, unfortunately, in 2 days' time, they will race at Talladega, and it will be scary. And you probably won't see that great of a race. Do you know why? Because I'm pretty sure the drivers will probably talk to each other, and they might just train for a bit. They might just run in a line and not risk it. Now, will that happen at the end of the stages? Probably not, because you have to go for points. You got to win a championship, and no matter what, when you put that helmet on, you get behind the wheel, you're going 185 miles per hour, your job is to get the best result for the team, so they will race, they will be aggressive, and they will try to win, and they will go in that race car with the thought process of, I will try everything I can to do the best for my team, and if I crash, I crash. That might not be the best situation right now because they've seen what's happened with other drivers in these wrecks, but that is what they're going to do because they're race car drivers and their whole lives, they have put their lives at risk. They don't have that fear stepping into the car. It should be NASCAR's job starting now and in the future to protect them. And that has to start. The process is probably already started, but are we going to see it? No. Hopefully we see it in the winter. What do you guys think? Is there anything they could do right now? I'm talking right now, even before Talladega or after, whatever, that they can do to make this car safer in any way. What can they do? How are you going to tell the team? The teams already have their cars built. The championship car is already built. It's ready to go for all the teams. So what are you going to do? There's not much you can do. It's an unfortunate circumstance, but I didn't tweet anything when I saw Alex Bowman's tweet. I saw everyone else tweet. I saw the outrage and the anger and the complaints and all that, and I understand all of them, but they don't really do anything. They don't. I think the drivers need to have a say, And hopefully Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch and even Chase Elliott talked about it. I mean, first time ever I saw him tweet. They need to, instead of tweeting, they need to talk to NASCAR. Steve Phelps needs to talk to them. Scott Miller needs to talk to them. Whoever the head of safety is needs to talk to them. They all need to talk to them. And they need to get this stuff sorted. The crew chiefs need to talk to NASCAR as well. Figure out a way to set these cars up so this issue doesn't happen. The whole tire problem when we go to Miami in a few weeks' time, a 1.5 mile track, is it going to be the same thing? Are the tires going to explode because of corner speed? There is, 2-3 weeks until that Homestead Miami race? There's time for Goodyear and for NASCAR to come up with a plan to say, okay, we're going to put these regulations in place. You got to follow these regulations. We don't care if it slows the car down. We're going to ensure that the tire load is not high. This is what's going to happen. That should be done right now for Homestead Miami at this current moment. So that takes away the possibility of right rear or left rear tires going down and for the cars to hit the wall and then put the drivers at risk again. That's something you can do right now. But actually making a change to the car, you can't do until the winter. So I hope that happens. I hope Kurt Busch gets healthy. I hope Alex Bowman gets healthy. And most importantly, I hope we have a safe race at Talladega, which is going to be hard because they're going to crash. They're going to wreck. You know it's going to happen. Someone's going to hit the wall hard. Front end, rear end, side. Someone might flip over. And you just got to hope and pray that everything's okay. That's a very helpless feeling, isn't it? But we're just watching. The crew chiefs are watching. Steve Phelps, NASCAR, Goodyear, NBC, they're all watching. It's the drivers who are actually in the cars that have to worry about it. So I don't know. Just maybe, their opinion should probably be number one on the list. That's all I'll say.